You know, on these iPhones, you get these phone calls, and they completely screw up your video. Anyway, what I wanted to be able to say is that the data, they mentioned some concerns about the data. They say there's extensive technological safeguards. You mean like the NSA spying? You mean like the complete obliteration of our Fourth Amendment? You know, the fact they're not using aggregate data anymore. They want specific data, and through the P20 program, through the Common Core, they want names, addresses, they want disciplinary actions, they want the number of kids, they want the, you know, nationality of your kids, they want the grades of your kids, that kind of thing. They say they have numerous regulations to protect that. Well, the problem is the fundamental thing on this is completely flawed, because they think that regulations actually protect people. Regulations don't protect people. They don't even go after the root cause of the issue. They only punish offenders. So we can have Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Russia, and China completely steal our data. Well, considering they're in control of America, we're going to be subservient anyway. But what's going to happen then? How are we going to punish them, guys? How do you punish a foreign country that took data from you? Oh yeah, because we're going to find a way to be able to enforce them. We were a nation. We took care of ourselves. We did things our own way. We let the world do their own thing, live their own form of government. We weren't spreading democracy or socialism, which is the fast track to communism. They say that none of that will be compromised. None of that will be compromised. It sounds like they've taken their brain out of their head and they put their heart in their head, and they're just wishful thinking. They think somehow that these communist countries aren't communist countries anymore and that we're all friends. Yeah, Germany's a friend of ours, Russia's a friend of ours, Iraq's a friend of ours, Syria's a friend of ours, Saudi Arabia, they're really a friend of ours, and so is Cuba. And we don't see any danger in that. So they talk about safeguards and standards and safeguards and standards. Yeah, don't you feel safe? They say that the states will maintain their sovereignty. I don't know if they're ignorant or they're selling us out. But the states can't maintain their sovereignty when they give it away. There is always an inferior and there is always a superior. When you give up your form of government or you go into partnership with somebody else, you are not equal partners. Someone is going to rule you. We will either rule over them or they will rule over us. The problem is America does not the power that we used to be. We don't rule over anybody anyway. That is not something that we should be doing. George Washington, I think, said that we should be friends with all nations, but not have long-standing alliances. So they say that the National Authority of Child Enforcement is the entity that's actually going to be the enforcement arm. Is there a delegated authority for that in our Constitution somewhere that allows the health and welfare to completely expand itself to be able to be armed, to be able to enforce the law? I'm not thinking so. Do they have the right to be able to barge into people's homes and, and check you and see the kind of food you're feeding your kids and what you're telling them? Hardly. Not in a constitutional republic. The funny thing is they say that it's hard to estimate the costs of how many people will be involved in this and the implementation and all of that. Oh, really? So we haven't even done a cost-benefit analysis, not even talking about the fact that this is a freedom-obliterating issue. But now we're going into this open, arbitrary, we're going to trust the government to be able to use our tax dollars, because it's done such a great job so far, to be able to handle this without even knowledge of what it's going to cost. And then, of course, they decided to use fear tactics, which they always use. Oh, well, if we don't get this, then the kids won't have the child support. Oh, really? So let's violate the Constitution and the freedom and the jurisdiction and the checks and balances and the separations of powers for the sake of the children. I think Hitler did that too, didn't he? And Stalin and the rest of them, right? So what it was clearly about was, when you saw in the testimony, It was about the corporate lobbyists against the individual freedom lovers. You had people from the YMCA, and you had people from these collective socialist groups, these outreach groups. Well, I represent, the Welfare Society of Idaho, and the charity for hunger and all of that. So you have the Catholics, right? They're going out there saying, yeah, well, we're from the Charity Association, but we wanted mandated charity, not volunteer. Which kind of takes the whole word out of charity, doesn't it? So that even the church is negating its responsibility by looking to the state for funds. I mean, the irony just doesn't stop. So anyway, those are some of the things that I came up with. Those are the things that I wanted to mention about the bill. That is why it's dangerous to American liberty. That's why SB 1067 sucks, as a person had asked me. And that is why, and I guess it's called HB1. So HB1 or S1067. So those are a few more thoughts following my aftermath video, and I hope you find some enjoyment in that. Sorry about the interruption. I'll have to deal with that swiftly from my caller. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.